Hey, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to tell you really quick what makes All Might such an awesome designed character. If you're not already following this page, please do so. Click subscribe and or follow. Drop us a comment, let us know what you appreciate or what you want to see more of. Anyways, one of the things that makes All Might such an awesomely designed character is he really is different than any other anime character I know of in the way of what he actually contributes to the show. So let me explain. In most anime, this thing is really irritating me. I gotta do something about it. But in most anime, whether it's the ones I know of, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, Bleach, these are the common ones that I grew up on. But in any case, in these shows, typically the main character starts off, at the bottom of the barrel, and most of the characters who are introduced are also low tier. And throughout the series, each character is working their way up to what will be some type of OP status by the end of the show. My Hero Academia did something differently with All Might. From the very start of the show, they introduced pretty much what we can expect a peak hero to be. All Might being probably the most powerful hero to ever exist, and we got to witness him in action right when it jumped off. You think of an anime like Naruto, for example, we always heard about Madara, we always heard about Hashirama, that these are, godlike shinobi, but we never really got to see them in action until the very end. And Hashirama, the first Hokage, we still never actually got to see him at full power. I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but people don't realize that when he was reanimated, he was not even close to his top tier power. Hence why he was easily mopped for the most part by a Madara. And it was hinted when him and Tobirama summoned their clones, and they're like, oh, this is the best that we can do, because when they were alive, they were able to contribute much more. Now that's off on a tangent. But yeah, so All Might is introduced showing us what to expect from a peak level hero. And what they did, which I absolutely love, is as he was introduced, they automatically introduced him with a weakness. He can only maintain his form for so long. Which reminds me of Zane from Power Rangers in Space, for those that are old enough to even watch that. But the most powerful ranger of all time, but only for 5 or 3 minutes. I forgot what their countdown was. And even then, it's still hinted that the All Might we were seeing, and he was still the most powerful hero in the world, is still not even close to his former glory when he didn't have an injury. It was hinted several times that we're not seeing All Might at full power. This is important for several reasons. So when All Might is introduced and we see how the concept of one for all goes, the next person is going to be stronger than the original holder, it's not bounding Deku to literally be as powerful as we saw All Might. It's still leaving some room that Deku can be much more stronger than we can even fathom, okay? That allows for the creativity, that allows us to have, wild expectations. We don't know where it's gonna go, but even though All Might was introduced as being OP, he still wasn't at his full power, and we all know that Deku will be, or we expect that Deku will be as powerful as All Might, if not more. And we haven't seen what that bar is, so the limits are open, or the sky's the limit. The other thing that it's going to do is, what if somebody is able to turn All Might bad and put him back to his peak form? There's so much unforeseen elements that can happen by not introducing All Might literally at his full power. There's a lot of things that can happen. But anyways, the other thing is, so we've just covered that All Might being introduced as, an OP character right from the jump is very different than normal anime. They normally don't do that. And we're not expecting anyone to surpass All Might pretty much until the end of the series. The main villain is, locked up, but I am under the impression he can break out at any given time, even though, it's unescapable. I don't believe that. This guy's in control, in my opinion. Anyways, the other thing that makes All Might such a great character is when you take someone like Naruto, Goku, or Ichigo, these are the characters I know, you know, they're strong, you know, they've gone through their adversities, and you know, they believe in whatever it is that they're like Naruto's facade, that whole believe it, that's not actually a facade. He literally believes it, and he's not putting on an act. That is Naruto. But you take a look at All Might, and when he's smiling even when he's in pain. I mean, he bluffs half the time. Like, he's faced people and he literally can't take another step without breaking form, but he still smiles and you know, holds that facade, an actual facade, because he's putting on a show. So we see a character who is in a lot of pain. He's actually in physical pain, and him knowing that this is all I got, and he has to, you know, bluff. That is very different than a lot of, you know, popular anime where the main character, not only is he, you know, putting on a show, I mean, he really is what he's saying he is, and All Might is not. He bluffs. He's actually a lot weaker than the world knew, and he, you know, he puts on a show. The other thing that's doing is, a lot of people don't like Deku right now because Deku is a crybaby. And you see that when Deku smiles, it's a fake smile, and oftentimes a tear, or his smile is awkward because he hasn't fully gained the confidence or the acting ability to pull off smiling truthfully in adversity, because he's still a little boy. What that is potentially showing is All Might is just a mastered version of Deku. We're eventually going to see a Deku. You know, the series goes long enough, he's not a whiny boy anymore, okay? And we are going to have, and I took a little bit of a pivot, now we're talking about Deku, we're going to have a greater appreciation of Deku as a character because we saw him when he was the whiny little boy to ultimately becoming the world's greatest hero, which I'm expecting him to be. There's a couple things that, you know, My Hero Academia has already done. Deku is smarter than All Might. Deku has already faced some serious injuries. His body is not like All Might's body when All Might inherited One For All. So there's a possibility that in terms of brute strength, he won't be able to be like All Might because of the damage he put on his arms. He doesn't have that peak body that, you know, was established, so he might be, you know, very strong like All Might, but his ultimate win is going to be, you know, his intellect. We don't know. That's the great thing about the show. But that's my analysis. What do you think, you know, makes All Might, you know, such a great character? Again, I'm just gonna, you know, summarize it. He's introduced as an OP character, but has a weakness. And at the same time, although he was OP, he still had another level that we never got a chance to see up so far. And the next thing is, you know, it's him putting up a facade, him smiling in the face of danger, even though he very well knows his back's against the wall. But he really plays, you know, being a hero and staying in character. So, you know, comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you're not already following this page, please do so. Your boy YaBoyRockLee, out.